The new Starfield update makes it so clear that the development team is really watching and listening to what the fans want. Welcome to episode 35 of Starfield with Normal People. My name is Michael, and as always, I am here with my good friend Duane.
Hey, Michael. How are you this week, my friend?
I am doing great. In fact, I am extremely excited for the new Starfield update. And I have to say, this is the first update that I'm really excited about, where it's going to actually change the game for me personally.
Definitely. I mean, this was a big production video. It felt like that original teaser video that they did, which we all dissected.
Yeah.
I think it was like an hour long behind the scenes before the game came out. But it felt kind of like that video in terms of, new, big, exciting changes, mainly the Land Rover for a lot of us. And to be honest, I have not watched the video. And you know why I haven't watched the video, Michael?
Why is that?
A friend of mine sent me a text linking the video to me. And I was like, oh, rad. I immediately started watching it on my phone. And then I got a second text moments later, all caps, wait. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
stop.
And then I got, I think, a second one after that that said, wait, don't watch. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I stopped
Yep.
it about a minute into the video. Apparently, there's some significant spoilers in that new video, right?
Well, so yes, for anyone that hasn't caught on, that was me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this habit of I will start watching a video that if I'm already hyped on it, even before finishing the video, I will link it and I will send it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a big deal because the other Starfield updates we've had, even for bug fixes and stuff like that, they did not have an accompanying video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, this is a big deal. They're showing a video for the update.
Right.
And yeah, I started watching it. As I'm watching it, I link it to you. I may have overreacted a little bit, but it does, and I'm not spoiling it for anyone who is like Duane, who's taken your time with the game, you have not gotten to the end yet.
Mm-hmm.
We won't spoil it here, but I will say that it shows something, just a quick little shot, but it happens to be from something that is from the end of the game. Now, maybe without context, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like seeing a trailer for a movie and you're just like, I don't know what's happening, but it looks cool.
If you're the type of person that is very into a game, a movie, whatever, you're going to dissect the trailer. You might watch it a couple of times.
Yeah.
In that case, well, maybe I should speak from I, but I probably would have noticed this new POI. I don't know how they present it, whether it's on somebody's developer screen in the background or if it's like actually featured in the video. I don't know how it's presented, but
Yeah.
I would have been like, that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, they are like, what is that? Yeah.
Right. Maybe I would have thought it was new content. Perhaps more than likely, I may have thought it was part of the in-game process.
I'll say this, most people who have seen the video know exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They show it and then they immediately start talking about their changes to New Game Plus. So it's to me, it's pretty clear that this is part of the end of the game.
That's interesting. So if I actually don't go through New Game Plus by the time this patch hits, actually, I've already updated Starfield with the beta on my PC. I wonder if that includes any of the NG Plus, or is that future stuff?
It's not going to affect your game now, and we'll get into it. We're going to talk about everything in the update and what that means for Starfield in the future. I can just tell you, since you know that there is New Game Plus, I will tell you exactly what that is in the update. It's a good thing, and it's not going to affect you until you get there.
Starfield is now a musical.
Yeah.
It's just one big musical.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
They've done a great job adding musical numbers.
They switched genres completely. I mean, we haven't had a good musical RPG.
Yeah, there's been musical games, but not a musical RPG. So Well, let's get into some of these patch notes because this is very exciting.
Sure.
The very first thing is the updated surface maps.
Yes.
I've seen most people say, we knew that they were going to add maps.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea how good they were going to be because they really delivered.
Right. So when you say surface maps, you don't actually mean like they're resurfacing objects like the ground. You're
Right.
talking literal like Disneyland overhead view maps of
Yeah.
Jemison and stuff like that. Just to be clear.
I like that comparison. I like that comparison because yeah, they have all the maps now will have all the little shops and the restaurants and
Hmm.
stuff.
It's all about the bathrooms. Where's the closest bathroom, please?
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny
Are
because
there? Wait a minute. Are there no public bathrooms in Jemison
oh, hold on a minute.
or in New Atlantis?
There's got to be.
That's kind of this weird video game thing, right? Where
There's got to be. Bethesda's really good at having bathrooms and feeling like lived in.
Bethesda loves their stalls and their toilets and their skeletons head first into the toilet. That's like
Yeah,
half the time when you open a stall in Fallout
in
4,
Fallout.
it's
Yeah,
either a skeleton bent over with their head submerged in the toilet, or there's just jet or some other illegal drug in the toilet.
and it's so funny in Fallout when you go to pick something up, but then your reticule moves over like an inch and you accidentally drink the toilet water.
I don't think I've actually done that. That's
You
hilarious.
haven't?
I have not.
I'm a controller player,
Although
so
I did just put a point into Aqua Boy, so I'm looking for that second point so I can just drink wasteland water without any effects.
oh, those perks are so good, especially if you're playing survival mode.
Hmm. That's a key point for survival.
Yeah, adapt to the wasteland.
Hmm.
Yes.
To bring it back to Starfield, though, like I played a ton of Fallout because they had the patch this, as of this recording about a week ago, and I jumped back in, been having a lot of fun progressing that game as well. I actually never finished the game. I came back to Starfield before the recording of this podcast, launched it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this game looks phenomenal. Like the fidelity was, I don't know, a magnitude of twice as good. It was clearly
yeah.
so much more advanced, so much higher fidelity, and shocking. Because like a lot of times you're thinking, oh, Fallout 4 is on the same, it's the same base engine, I guess. Starfield's creation engine
Right.
2. So, but in your
But
mind,
it's
you're-
clearly built off of the same engine.
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
the same thing goes for Skyrim. You go back to Skyrim versus like Fallout 4, and you're like, wow, Fallout 4 looks so much better, or even Fallout 3. But it was kind of a shocker to go into Starfield and be like blown away.
This is a phenomenon that happens every time there's a new generation, a new game, where people feel like it's incremental. It's a little bit better, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to the previous game and you're like, whoa, no, this
Right.
is way better. I did the same because of the Fallout update. I was playing Fallout and I was shocked when I went to talk to the Brotherhood of Steel, Paladin Dance, and I was talking to the scribe. I noticed that her like buckle on her shirt, it was a texture. It was
Right.
like a flat texture. You look at Starfield, every little intricate detail is mapped out
It's
to
3D.
a ridiculous degree. It is insane how detailed it is. I see a lot of like people meme about like when Todd said 16 times the detail. Like so that's become a meme just like what is the
planets.
it just works.
Yeah,
it just works. It's become a meme, like when people are talking crap about the game and they're like 16 times the detail. No, but it is. It is insane how detailed the game is and how good it looks.
Yep. Just go back and play some older games if you want if you want Starfield to look better. Yeah, just go play Fallout for a little while. I mean, Fallout looks fantastic
Seriously.
too. And to bring it back to Starfield, when you said surface maps, I was thinking one criticism of Starfield versus Fallout is that in the Fallout world, because a lot of it's hand built, when you walk from one point of interest to another, you get sidetracked by little things that you find and enemies,
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of stuff in between the other things. That's the main criticism of Starfield right now, is like walking between points of interest. There are, depending on the planet, there's animals and stuff, but a lot of times
Right.
it's not as populated. There's not as much stuff.
Yeah.
An update where they use the procedural engine to generate more stuff in between would be cool. But getting back to the surface maps, I mean, like you said, they're like Disneyland. Am I right?
Yeah, well, what I'm noticing is icons that show like where the med center is, where the shops are, and also where the restaurants are, which is a big deal for this update considering the new difficulty options, which we'll get to soon.
Yes.
But essentially, they've started to add survival stuff, which I am very excited about.
I saw your discussion in the Discord and they're talking about the different sliders.
Yes. One of the things that I explained in the Discord was why I'm so excited that they separated all these things in the difficulties, including enemy.
It's not just an on-off switch.
Yeah. Well, and like they added the new extreme difficulty, right? So they have like very hard currently. And then in the new update, right now it's in beta. So I am an Xbox player. I don't have it yet. We will get it May 15th. But they have that difficulty, which is just a blanket difficulty. Or you can go in and change each little thing. Now, this is why it's so important to me. I love how Fallout Survival did their damage because enemies can kill you quickly, but you can also kill them quickly. Now, this is different from how most games, even Bethesda games, do their difficulty generally, which is enemies kill you quickly, but you take a long time to kill the enemies.
You're saying that that's the default.
That's the default way that games usually handle difficulty. And what I am excited about is I want a game that's more almost like a military sim.
Right.
So it's no secret I like games like Ghost Recon. So this is my example of how I'm going to set up Starfield. So in Ghost Recon, there could be a bunch of enemies on a base. And if I am being careful and I am being aware, I can easily take him down, take him down, take him down. And then you go into a room when you're not being careful and there's that one guy you didn't know about.
Right.
Blam, and he kills you. That's very exciting to me. So what I'm going to be doing, very likely in Starfield, is making it so that enemy combat damage is very hard, like extreme difficulty, so they can kill me quickly. And then player combat damage is a separate slider. So I can turn that to very easy so that I do high damage as well. So it's not about bullet sponges. It's not about keeping tons of ammo on hand. It's about being aware.
Right. It's about taking your time, strategically approaching, the base instead of just running in guns blazing and hoping to, absorb or outblast your enemies. Yeah, I do think you're right on many difficulty settings. It's just, let's just make the enemies really, really tough. You're kind of the same.
Yeah.
Which means take X amount of damage, you're dead. And their bullets are now hit harder. They're shooting more at you and they're harder to kill is generally.
Yeah.
I like the ability to fine tune it seems like.
Yeah. It's great. Some of us find that on-foot combat is too easy, and then sometimes the ship combat is too hard.
Right.
That's a different slider. If you're not having fun doing ship combat and dying so quickly, you make that part easier.
That is exactly my experience. So I will be probably adjusting the on-foot combat to be a little harder. It seems a little too easy. And making the ship combat easier. Again, I haven't spec'd points into, that much into science and technology and ship stuff. So,
I mean, if you want to be fair, like you could say, oh, well, I haven't put the perks in, into that skill point or whatever.
But still, I mean, it could be years, literally, before I have enough skill points to just put them into stuff that I don't really want.
Yeah. The higher level you get, the more of a grind. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I have to confess that I've been using an XP glitch in Fallout 4. And I know a lot of people that went back to Fallout 4 have probably been doing this, but have you seen the bronze statue XP glitch?
No, this is new to me. What is that?
So basically there's a duplicate glitch where you can duplicate items using the workshop. And then you
Oh,
make a
okay.
bunch of bronze bars, and then you create bronze statues. You have to pick up Picket Fence's book that has the bronze statues in it. Then you just spam hundreds of bronze statues around your settlement, and you get tons of XP. But
Oh, wow.
there's actually a new glitch using the automaton expansion. Do you have all the
Right.
DLCs?
I've got all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you have the automaton DLC, you can create a new, I think it's automaton, and there's a torso glitch where it has to do with the bug within the game code, which allows you to accidentally open two dialogues at the same time. So you open a dialogue with your companion, you try to trade with them, and then you simultaneously open the robot building screen.
Oh, interesting.
But that's the same way that the duplicate item works. When you open your workshop, you try to scrap and you try to store at the same exact time, and it opens up two boxes and it ends up duplicating the item.
Oh, okay.
So the whole point of this conversation is that if it's Creation Engine and that timing glitch exists in Creation Engine, I wonder if I can exploit it in Starfield somehow, like
Yeah.
using either a companion or something like that to, and it is cheating. I mean, it's glitching the system. And I wonder, because it takes a little bit of work to get this XP glitch and to actually get it running and working, why not just use the tilde key to open up the console?
Right. If you're on PC.
Yeah, if you're on PC, it does disable the achievements if you do that. I mean, you could get a mod
Oh,
to,
that's
again,
right.
to not do
Yep.
that, but it all kind of boils down to, is it more fun to have more points without having to go through the grind, which I think it is.
Depends on each player wants a different experience. I'm usually against the exploits.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
feeling that way with Starfield. Like, I'm feeling I want to get more perks. I want more perks,
More skills.
more skills. Yeah.
I'm usually like against exploits, but I also just, for me personally, I'm not against other people using them because it's a single player game. I'm reminded of the fact that I was transferring my Fallout save. I had a pretty high level character. I went to a different Xbox and it was downloading that save, but something happened. Xbox accidentally lost it or corrupted it, and it created a new save over it, and I had to start all over. So there are those situations where, because of something that's not your fault,
Right. Like, you're not going to sit there and spend 2 weeks of game time. I mean, it would take 100 hours to get your character back to where it was before that save file got corrupted.
I would totally use an exploit to get my character back up to where I had it before, the Xbox deleted my save. Like it.
Yeah.
The new gameplay options, we started talking a little bit about like enemy damage and everything. So you can change other things like your carry capacity, cargo access distance, and vendor credits. People were very excited about vendor credits having more. Even though I am going to probably bump a ton of difficulties up, vendor credits is one of the things I'm going to bump to easier to have, for them to have more, because
It's a fun factor thing.
yeah, I agree vendors probably wouldn't have a ton of cash on hand, but we already live in a world where people make, purchases with credit. Yeah, like whatever. Like they should have more. I'm with the people on this. Finally, one of the things I'm so excited about with this update is something I've been wanting for a long time. You have to eat food and drink in the game. So food and drink becomes so much more important in the game now.
Right. Yeah. And I love the fact that you can just eat stuff as you see it.
Yes.
This goes hand in hand with that whole role playing thing. Now you're able to just eat food off the table. Gross, but hey,
Yeah.
you never know. It depends on how vacuum sealed that chunks package is. But I appreciate the fact that it does something now. Like, it actually, you need it to sustain. And does this mean you gradually lose health if you haven't eaten in, 2 hours, 5 hours?
So there are some bonuses. That's what I like, is eating food gives you a bonus to your carrying. It's something like your carry weight, your oxygen, and it's stuff like that. And so you get a positive effect for eating, but then you get a negative effect if you haven't eaten. I believe it's like a 30-minute timer. This is a very simple version of survival, and I think that's why they didn't even mention it on the video. It kind of like people discovered it as we were looking at these options and people were downloading the beta, but they didn't mention it as a survival update. And I appreciate that because I think that this is a really good start. In other survival games, usually it's like you're a little bit hungry, not that bad. And then you're very hungry, and then you start to have more effect. And there's a huge difference between being a little bit hungry and like completely starving. This game is just either you're hungry or you're not. I really appreciate this update. I'm definitely going to enact these options, but I fully expect there's more survival coming later.
Yep. Yeah, I think they realize it's important to a large part of their player base, so why not give us as many options as possible? And it's a little bit like Captain Over in the movie Airplane when he ate the bad fish. You know, the effects of not eating, you know, in the game, you start to have like uncontrollable sweats, and then you're convulsing, and you have uncontrollable flatulence, and then you just straight pass out. That's how it should be in Starfield.
That's how they all your companions should start asking why you're sweating so much. Are you okay? Like, yeah, there are games where you'll walk by NPCs and they're like, "What? Are you all right?
Are you feeling all right?" I thought you were going to say that your favorite new thing in this update was that you could give Cora books.
Yes, this was a secret little thing that people playing the beta discovered. This was not announced. You can now just give Cora books. Everyone knows by now, if you play the game, Cora loves books, and you would collect these books, and players wanted to give them to Cora because she was always asking for books. And you couldn't. You couldn't do it.
It was like the biggest Chekhov's gun fail in the game. Like, you have a character, a young impressionable mind, literally talking about books all the time. You're finding books in the game.
You can find them,
and you can't connect the two. A little bit of an oversight there, but it's just a shame that I actually flushed Cora out the pod bay door, alien style.
Yeah, the airlock.
Of the airlock, yeah, the incessant complaining. So I'll have to go find her in space. She's probably frozen by now.
Yeah, she ain't looking for books no more.
Maybe she'll Princess Leia her way back to the ship, and all will be fine.
She'll just use the Force. Oh man, I remember thinking in the movie, I was like, oh, that's how they'll kill off that character. Oh, nope, guess not. Am I super excited to give books to Cora? Me personally, I don't really care. But what I love about this is it makes it so clear that the development team is really watching and listening to what the fans want.
Right.
And it seems like everything is either, oh, yes, we can deliver that. Here you go. No, we can't deliver it. Or we can, but it's going to take more time, which is like the Land Rover, right? The first, they called it the first, so maybe there will be more. They said our first land vehicle is something they're working on. So of course it's not going to be in this update, but they showed it off. They showed a really quick snippet. It looks great.
I didn't get to see it. Sad face.
I stopped Duane from seeing it.
Now wait. I did see...
You should just watch the video.
Okay, thank you.
I shouldn't have stopped you.
So I did see, I think, a snippet, a screenshot or something, and correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like the lunar rover. Is that correct? Kind of? Four wheels and like a basic buggy type thing.
It's kind of like a lunar rover. It's like between a lunar rover and like a dune buggy.
Right.
From what I saw. Yeah.
So our speculation of being able to ride fauna is probably incorrect. Well, at this point, like you said, there could be adding additional modes of transportation.
I could see that happening if we get kind of they always have like the different themes with their big DLC, right? And we've talked about finding a planet with more like tribal people that are not like as technologically, like they've been removed from technology. You know, maybe they're humans that
maybe on purpose or maybe just by
Either way.
yeah
Yeah. Could be on purpose. And
Luddites.
I could see that type of update being like, hey, we ride animals. That would be cool.
Yeah, you had mentioned
But
like the
yeah.
Gungans, like this underwater society, or just a society that wants to ride on the local fauna.
Yeah, I would take any of those. This buggy. So a lot of everyone knows now generally when you land on a planet, it generates a square. It generates a huge tile, right? And we've talked about how there's like that boundary that you and I never reach generally.
Yeah.
But if you keep going in one direction, you'll reach a boundary that says, you've gone far enough, please go back to your ship.
The Edge of the World by Shel Silverstein.
Yeah. The where the sidewalk ends?
Where the sidewalk ends.
Yeah. There is something very...
Oh, are you saying that they're going to add jumps now in the tiles? Like for your lunar buggy? That'd be sweet. Baja 1000 style, like off-road jumps and stuff.
Yeah, they should put more rocks that are like slanted for sure. Oh man.
And it give me an e-brake so I can like do donuts and stuff on that thing. And a big fart muffler so I can annoy the neighbors.
There is a player that has been doing experiments on a modded version of Starfield. And early on, he would basically eliminate the border restriction, the thing, that stops you from going. And he would then try to go from one tile to another, and it would always crash in the past. Well, every time there was an update, he would then try it again. And after the last big update that we got last month that had all the bug fixes, with his modded version of the game, he went from one tile to the next.
Wow.
And this blew my mind because it shows that there is a precedent, there is something in the game that says these tiles are next to each other.
Yeah.
And not just any tiles. He went from a random tile next to where New Atlantis is, and he crossed that border and New Atlantis appeared in the background. It faded in very nicely, like the way games generally do when they're well programmed. He flew there at a super high speed with his mods. He went into the UC, United Colonies area where I forget his name, but the guy that signs you up to be UC, and he started talking to him. So apparently
it actually worked.
It actually worked. Now there are some things that are still wonky.
Like it got populated and...
Yep. There were people walking around. To me, this is mind-blowing. Apparently, there's some things that are wonky with physics if you go from one tile to another. But of course, this has not been announced. It's not ready. But the fact that he couldn't even do that before, and now the game actually populates New Atlantis, it says to me, maybe when the buggy comes, we are going to get multiple tiles stitched together.
I can see one big advantage to that is spaceships. Like so many people have wanted to be able to cruise the surface or to take off and see the full transition to space. Perhaps this could be part of it where you're on a spaceship, or you're on your ship and you kind of cruise the surface into the next tile seamlessly.
Yes.
And I was going to say this also feels like that Steve Jobs Apple moment when he's introducing the next iteration of the iPhone and he's like, oh, by the way, now the tiles are stitched. And everybody's like,
one more thing.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
So good job, Todd Howard. Your journey to become Steve Jobs is nearly complete. I mean that in the best way possible.
Turtleneck.
Yeah, just need the turtle and minus all the strange like junk science that he was into.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Michael, there's also a bunch of new updates for shipbuilding, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah, you can now totally redesign the interior of the ship. And one thing that I'm really excited about is...
We were just talking about that, were we not?
We were.
Literally last podcast. Yep. So this is awesome.
There's a lot of things that we said we want in future updates that are coming in this update. Yeah.
Well, they do play our podcast during the all hands meeting. At
That's right. Yeah,
so
I'm sure they do.
hello,
They
staff.
have to. Yeah. Yeah. Hi,
Hello,
guys.
cast and crew.
It's a pleasure just to be here.
Love what you're doing.
What I'm excited about is in this update, they're also going to have ship habs that are totally clean. They don't have anything in them.
Oh, I didn't see that. So the purpose would be just a purely aesthetic, or
It's to have a clean slate for you to decorate, like an empty home.
copy that. Okay.
See, but for me, I like it because maybe I just want a ship that feels like it's brand new, like I just bought it and we haven't put anything in there yet. And honestly, I think I want to have a clean, empty ship that I'm going to just put workbenches in. I think someone said that they put a mission board in there. That's something I've always wanted, is to have a mission board. I've also seen someone say that that didn't work. So I don't know until I try it myself if you can. If you've played around in the beta, if you're listening to this, why don't you leave a comment? Let us know if you can or cannot put a mission board on your ship, because that would be amazing.
I agree with you. Like getting that brand new ship and you get that new ship smell. So good.
Yeah.
You know, they should actually have like smell-o-vision for PC games. You know, they tried it with TV where, you know, you had a little box you could hook up and it would like spritz out some orange smell when you go near the orange groves.
They really did try that. Yep.
So yeah, they should do that with some video game peripheral, you know, Lenovo, if you're out there listening, let's make game smell-o-vision.
Let's do smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-game.
Yeah. Another big deal for me as an Xbox player is that we're finally going to get like performance mode for the game. So it might basically prioritize.
Have you run into performance issues?
That's a personal question, sir. No, I haven't. The thing is, there's no performance issues in the game on Xbox Series X, but we are locked to 30 frames a second.
Oh, right.
This is going to give us the option to run the game at 60 frames. Very excited about that.
Yes.
Finally, the big thing that people wanted that I forbade you from seeing in the game. Most people are aware that there is New Game Plus. What happened though with New Game Plus is that you were locked to whatever your traits were. So if you picked introvert, if you picked terra firma, if you Freestar Collective settler, or kid stuff, or of course if you had the adoring fan, all of that stuff was locked to a new character. So you could not do New Game Plus and change those traits, and they listened to the people. And we are now going to get the ability, when you go New Game Plus, you keep your level and you can change your traits and you can change your character's look.
This is huge. I've noticed a lot of discussion again in our Discord with people that have been through NG multiple times. And that is like one of the biggest things that they want to do, because they want to experience some of these other traits or perks or whatever that you get only at the very beginning of a new character creation. So I love this change.
I love this change too as well, because as you know, I created a new character to do like a melee build. I created a new character to do like a drug dealer, and to change their traits and everything. And what happened both times is after a while, I thought, man, I put so much time into my level 109 character, and I ended up just going back to that character. And I'm always torn because I want to do those other things and have those other traits in those characters, but I feel like I'm sort of wasting time because I put so much time into this other character. I thought for sure, I mean, maybe I'll still do this someday. I thought for sure I would start a new character if we got survival updates.
Now you don't have to.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Right.
I mean, I don't have to do that. I think I'm going to get my character to New Game Plus, start over. Yes, I'm going to be leveled up. Yes, I'm going to be powerful. But I'm going to turn all those difficulties up and make the game challenging for myself. It's just that I'm going to have the skills that I've spent 400 hours cultivating.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm really happy they are going to implement this.
Yeah, we did in the video. If you haven't seen the video, definitely watch it because they gave a little tease, just a little tiny screenshot of them working on the big DLC, which is Shattered Space. We've known about it forever. We don't know anything about it, but they showed a very interesting screenshot. So go watch the video, speculate on what that is. I saw this dumb article that was like, it was like we are now confirmed that it's going to focus on Varun. And then there was no source. There was no source whatsoever.
It was a headline without any empirical evidence whatsoever.
The source was, I think so. So anyway, either way, I'm excited. I can't wait to get this update in my hands. Can I just say, since Todd Howard certainly listens to our podcast, can I just say, we have the Xbox Insider program for a reason. There used to be the ability to put betas for people that opt in onto the Xbox.
Right.
I'm just saying, I am willing to beta test these updates along with Steam.
There you go. Michael is willing to get the content ahead of time before anyone else because he's special. You are special.
I'm just saying, let us opt in.
You forgot about the one last improvement that they have in this latest patch. Basically, you now have to register with Sony Games in order to continue to play Starfield.
Yes, big part of this update is that you will have to have a PSN account to play Starfield.
Yeah, so, everybody will eventually on Earth will have to have a PSN account just to do anything. You want to go to the grocery store? Sign up.
Yeah. I thought this was a controversial decision, but I understand why they did it. So yeah. I'm just going to defend every bad decision to my grave.
Right. If you want to continue to listen to our podcast, you also will need a Sony PlayStation account going forward.
Pretty soon. Yeah. Pretty soon.
No, not really.
What will happen? You're gonna log in. You're gonna log into your, whatever you use to listen to the podcast, and it's easy, guys. A little prompt is gonna come up.
Just follow
enter your PSN account.
Follow the 16-step process and have a credit card ready.
Yeah, it won't, and it will not remember your details each week. So you will have to put it back in every single time.
Right.
But it's easy. Don't worry. Yeah, super excited about this update, man. So
it's looking good. I feel good about Bethesda. They've taken a lot of heat with Starfield. Some of it's warranted, a lot of it's not, in our opinion. However, like you said, they seem to be listening to their player base. They're making awesome improvements. So my hat's off to the dev team and for their continued work on all their games. I mean, I'm loving the Fallout 4 update. I did not see that one coming. And obviously, they said that they're going to focus on Elder Scrolls 6 as well to try to get that out. Was it Elder Scrolls 6?
Elder Scrolls 6 is the next big game. I'm very excited about that. I was actually more excited about...
But they said they weren't going to spend 10 years on it, I think was the big takeaway, right? They're like, we want to get it out as much as you do.
Yeah, between Fallout 4 and Starfield, it took 8 years, but that was brand new IP, brand new engine. They said that it's not going to take that long to do Elder Scrolls. And now with the popularity of Fallout, because of the show... They're now looking at expanding their team and working on Elder Scrolls and Fallout simultaneously. I think they should. I think that they should have an Elder Scrolls team. I think they should have a Fallout team, and they should have a Starfield team. And yeah, bounce people around from one to the other. But let's already start working on the next Starfield stuff and the next Fallout stuff and the next Elder Scrolls.
And it sounds like they are. So kudos to them.
Yeah, they've got the resources. They're big time TV producers now.
Yeah, they got TV money coming in. Well, video game money trumps TV and film by far, but
it's true.
It doesn't hurt to have a hit series that's reinvigorating. I mean, the sales of their games have probably shot up exponentially.
The thing that is mind-blowing to me is how we have talked to people in our lives that are not gamers. That were like, have been saying that, oh, we've been watching this show called Fallout.
Right.
And like people that are not Bethesda fans.
It has mass appeal.
Yeah. And I can see a lot of people. Actually, we had someone in our Discord, which, by the way, there's a link in the show notes. If you have not joined our Discord, you got to, because there's an amazing group of people talking about Starfield and other games. But we had somebody mention, they said, I wonder how many people who never played a Bethesda game are going to watch Fallout, play Fallout, become Bethesda fans, and discover Starfield.
Absolutely.
Could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we close out the show, I do want to thank a couple of brand new members of our Patreon. We have got Mel Archivals, who's joined, and we've got Malcolm Ashford, who's joined. Thank you so much for joining, guys. We've got our Discord that you can join for free, and then Patreon is a way to support the show and everything that we're doing with our channel and our podcast.
Definitely. And we also want to thank our companions on Patreon, who are Brian Russo, Space Cadet 829, Rampage, American X, Cherry Bomb,
Sunday.
our good friend Griffin, our friend Ben Price, and as always, Zigra Rocks. I kind of admire his lifestyle. Like, he's going to the cool NASA museum. I murdered whatever that is.
Going to NASA, surfing, scuba
like all
diving.
kinds of fun stuff. He makes really cool art too. Like he's building something in his backyard. It's like a rocket ship in his backyard.
Do we want to speculate that Zigra has actually been to the surface of the moon?
I think he might have. He could have.
Yeah.
If anyone has.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me.
We're not saying that in a derogatory way. By the way.
No, it's in such a good way. At some point, it's going to casually come up in conversation. Zigra Rocks is going to be like, "Oh yeah, I've been to the moon."
I'm one of
just
17 people.
I love. Yeah, keep those photos coming. I love living vicariously through Zigra Rocks. But thank you to everyone that listens on Spotify, Apple, and thank you to those watching on YouTube. All the links we talk about are provided in the show notes below.
Extra special thanks for comments and feedback. If you have a comment, suggestion, or an in-game story to share, you should come in our Discord or leave it right there on the YouTube channel. We always read all the comments. We respond to most of them, unless they're dumb.
Yep.
Then
unless they're dumb, yeah.
We ain't responded to that.
Then I'll respond and tell them that they're dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
I think that's how the quote goes. If you like the show, consider dropping a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. That would really help us out.
Thanks for traveling to Starfield with us. Make sure you subscribe because we will be back for more.
We'll see you then. Is that how it goes?
Was that Star Trek? I did not recognize that.
No, it's supposed to be our it's supposed to be our outro music.
Oh, gotcha.
But I lost a couple of notes along the way.